Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. The whole Michael Matheson saga rumbles on. This time, Humza Yousaf has been asked to explain himself by some of the terminology he used. He keeps talking about how Michael Matheson made a mistake. Well, a letter's gone in asking him to explain what he means by mistake. But of course he doesn't know, does he? He's just trying to put some words out there that try and cover the cracks, hide the truth, and hope that people get tired of the story and move on. But people aren't getting tired of the story, are they, Humza? They want this story to run and run until Michael Matheson is either fired, and if you had balls you'd have done it, or he resigns, and if he had honour he would have gone. And that is the trouble, of course. At the top there you have a man without honour and a man without the cojones to do the job. And so it grumbles on. But you can't explain what you're saying. These are just words. Simply a bromide. Well, it's not washing. Let's have a look at the story and see what's going on with Humza and Michael, who are obviously very much in love with each other. Here goes. So, shifty Humza Yousaf put on the spot over vague and contradictory Michael Matheson stance. Well, say it ain't so. Him being vague and contradictory, surely he is a pillar of truth, honesty and openness. Or so he'd like to claim. We know, of course, nothing could be further from the truth. Except maybe Humza Yousaf. He's a long way from the truth, isn't he? Anyway, the SNP leader has been warned that if he can't answer the questions, the public will continue to ask why his minister tried to claim their money without being honest to the Parliament. The other thing, of course, is if Michael Matheson can't hand over the iPad, we will continue to ask, why not? What is on it? What is on it that is so bad that he dare not have it examined? And we will come to only one conclusion, that he's downloaded or watched something that is utterly degenerate, and he knows that if it does come out, he's finished and possibly jailed. Anyway, Humza Yousaf has been sent a letter asking him to explain what exactly he means when he said Michael Matheson made mistakes. I think by mistakes he means committed a deliberate fraud and then lied about it, and then lied about the lies that he lied. Because that's not a mistake, is it? That's deliberate. Anyway, the Health Secretary job hangs in the balance following the announcement that Parliament bosses will be looking into the £11,000 expenses scandal and the controversy that followed. Yes, they now have basically, how would we put this, succumbed to public pressure because they know how bad and damaging it is, but not just to the SNP, but to the whole of the integrity of Parliament. And so they're all saying, no, this has to be investigated fully. We cannot have this. This must not stand. And of course, at that point, they all know that they're done. They all know that this is going to be an awful thing, especially, as I say, if they can get their hands on that iPad and thoroughly investigate its history. Then, hopefully, charges will follow. Mr. Yousaf stood by his minister, refusing to sack him despite pressure from political opposition and from within his own party now, it must be said, and claims he lied to the Scottish public. He lied to the public, he lied to the press, he lied to Parliament, he lied to everybody, and he continues to lie. Only then he changes his lies and lies about the lies that he's told. And then he tells you that what he's telling you now is absolutely the truth. Well, if it's absolutely the truth, you have nothing to fear. We'll have a look at your iPad, and if there's only football on there, there is no issue. If there's anything else, then there's an issue. Will you hand over the iPad, Michael? What's that? Apparently not. Anyway, in the latest turn of events, the Scottish Conservatives have written to the First Minister asking for clarity on his stance that they say is vague and contradictory. At one point, Mr. Yousaf said his long-time colleague had made honest mistakes. Not an honest mistake. Committing fraud is not honest. There is nothing honest about any of this. Certainly, the lies upon lies heaped upon the lies show that there is no honesty. You cannot have an honest mistake. You can have dishonest criminality. And I think that is what's going on. He said honest mistakes, but was later changed to mistakes during the question at Holyrood. So he's actually reduced and taken away the word honest, because even he knows that he was dishonest. The letter asks if charging the taxpayer £11,000 for a bill he could not account for by his own admission was a mistake, and whether Mr Matheson failed to switch his iPad SIM card, despite being told by the parliamentary authorities, is a mistake. Responding to the ongoing scrutiny into his government's handling of what has been described as a cover-up, Mr Yousaf says he's made mistakes in handling the issue. He's made mistakes in handling the issue of his fraud and lying? Is that what you're clarifying here? It seems like that. Additionally, the Scottish Tories have asked if Mr Matheson lying to the press about the reason he incurred the roaming charges bill was a mistake. Yes, is lying a mistake, or is that also deliberate? That was in reference to a statement where he denied the bill was down to personal usage, which it later was, of course. In a later version of events, Mr Matheson said he found out the huge bill was down to his teenage sons watching football. Bill your sons. Not him. He throws them under the bus and blames his children for his own problems. And that, in my book, makes a bit of a tosser. And in many other people's book. Mind you, he was always a bit of a tosser beforehand, but this sort of confirms it and, cements in place our opinion as being real. Anyway, Craig Hoy, Scottish Conservative chairman, said in a statement, Humza Yousaf is as evasive and shifty on this scandal as the man he inexplicably refuses to sack. At First Minister's questions on Thursday, he repeatedly referred to Michael Matheson having made mistakes, while at the same time excusing him for lying when he claimed the roaming charge bill had been racked up solely on parliamentary work. That's arguably the most serious charge against the Health Secretary, yet Humza Yousaf claims the Health Secretary was justified in misleading the country. If that wasn't a mistake by Mr Matheson, then the First Minister must explain what he thinks was. At the moment, we have a vague and contradictory take from Humza Yousaf. Humza Yousaf said it was quite right for his Health Secretary to mislead the country, the Parliament, the press, the people, to protect the family. No, you don't lie, you don't steal, you don't commit fraud and then say it was protecting your family. A family that you then threw under the bus because you had to blame them for your own shortcomings, tosser. Anyway, this is just one of the reasons, this is Hoy continuing, this is just one of the reasons why we need a ministerial statement and a debate on this topic, in addition to the Scottish parliamentary probe. The lying and the cover-up on the scandal doesn't begin and end with Michael Matheson. The First Minister is fully implicated too. In the close of the letter from Mr Hoy, he writes, if you cannot answer them, the public will increasingly question why you are keeping a man in his job who has lied to them and tried to claim their money without being honest to the Parliament. The SNP has been asked for a comment, but there was no comment coming because they know the truth. Again, we keep saying this. The truth is so damaging to them. And look at him, a man who knows he, in that picture, is looking at a liar. He's looking at a man who's fraudulently claimed £11,000. He knows he's backed him to the hilt. He knows he is now linked inextricably with a liar and with a potential thief. There's now a full parliamentary investigation. They're all backing him. If it does turn out that on that iPad is some pretty awful stuff, then he's been backing it. This isn't going to look good for him either. They all need to go. They're all in it together. They're all nasty bastards, to put it bluntly. Thieving, lying, fraudulent. They are taking public money without consent. Nothing is minuted. Nothing is said. Everything is covered up. They are a criminal organisation and they need to be booted out. And the further these investigations go, the more the criminality is being undercovered, revealed from under its covering. They're trying their very best to keep in power. They're trying every trick they can. But the fact is the people don't trust them. The people hear whenever they talk and immediately assume that what they're saying is lies. And that's because 9 times out of 10, it is. Coming up. If Kendall had the balls, he would have fired Matheson day one. It's now too late. If he fires Matheson now, he'll look like he's giving in to pressure, so he can't fire him. But if he doesn't fire him and it comes out to be as bad as we think, then he too is implicated in all these things and he'll have to go as well. What a moron. What a truly spectacular, wonderfully stupid man Humza Yousaf is. You sit and you jaw-droppingly astounded by the level of absolute sheer stupidness bound up in one horrible racist little tit that is Humza Yousaf. And he still can never admit to be wrong. What a wanker. Anyway, I'm stopping there. Thank you very much for watching. Keep watching this space. This story's not going away, is it? Now we've got the big investigation going. This story's going to be here for weeks. Oh dear, it's their own fault. Till next time, stay safe, stay well, and I will speak to you later. Goodbye.